back here for playoffs, and today's series is delivering. Game numbers 2 and 3 have been very exciting here today, and coming into game number 4, EG's got to put up or shut up.
I mean, red side, 100% win rate. EG on red side. The math may check out for game 5. We'll see. But EG, really has impressed me. I think they've stepped up massively. After game one looking very one-sided, that was 6 straight losses to TL. So to be able to battle back, take game 2, make game 3 competitive, really does speak to the fact that this team can show a higher level. But TL, of course, at match point, looking really strong last game. Was a very competitive back and forth game, but they just straight up out-executed them in all of the major fights, all of the major skirmishes. You look back to that fight around mid, 3-for-0 for TL. You look to the bait that they used Hansama for, EG engage, Bjergsen wipes them up, gets a triple. Those are all those key moments where TL just feels like it's executing a little bit better.
Yeah, Team Liquid is... They can stat check you in real life because every single player is so individually
pass
skilled.
These people.
Yeah, it's
so
like, how do we pass the stat check on something like CoreJJ's reaction time, or the fact that Santorin knows to just step slightly to the left because the rocket's probably going to go the other way? Like, these guys know how to play some really good League of Legends, and it forces their opponents to play at the absolute pinnacle of their own potential or just get rolled over.
I love it. I mean, the players always have some banter in the chat before the games, and Inspired saying, playoff Bjergsen. I thought it was a meme, but but it's not, right? Like he's showing up big time. Bjergsen has always had that reputation of being so clutch in the big games, in the big moments, showing up when it counted time and time again for TSM. He's wearing some different colors this year, though, on Team Liquid and doing them proud so far here in round 1, trying to secure their spot in Houston at those finals.
All right, well, this is going to be our 4th game in a row where Team Liquid says no Zeri. They do not want to give this to Danny under any circumstance. They will also ban the Lee Sin away from Inspired. Yes, the Nocturne had a successful early game last time, but then completely failed to do much after that triple kill for nothing there in that skirmish around mid lane. Back on the other side, EG will continue to keep Volibear away from Santorin. Jinx is banned out, Ahri is banned out, Nautilus is available, as you just said. That Viego that Santorin piloted so well in the first couple of games also going to be there.
Yep, so Viego was what TL first picked last time around on blue, but they did lose that game. And they obviously are banning out Lee now this time, so there are some changes. Nautilus is available if they want to go towards that. Did work out really well for TL last time around. I think it makes sense as a first pick. Core was deathless. He was what, like 0-0-14 or something like that?
Yeah,
on the
something
pick.
ridiculous.
Had a really
CoreJJ
strong
number.
Performance. Exactly. Him and Santorin were involved in basically every single kill throughout the game. That duo was incredibly powerful, and TL could go back towards it once more if they were to choose that option. There is the possibility of, again, going towards a Jarvan here in 2-3 for TL. Xayah has become pretty high priority. Want a little bit more time to think about it, though, so they are going to grab Leona. Of course, they don't have to pick Leona until 3, but this just tells me they're not sure what they want to go for next, and they're just buying themselves some time. Like, all right, we know we want Leona. What else do we want? Give yourself more time on the clock to continue discussing it.
It's going to
be Ryze. Okay.
Yep. Well, the Ryze picked up for JoJo. It was very, very successful in game number 2. Game number 3 sort of just showed how Ryze feels so much worse when you're not playing from that position of strength, though. They just picked on him over and over.
Absolutely. I mean, they did a great job collapsing on him. A lot of that was because everyone could engage, basically, right?
Yeah.
They're able to find, so many picks on that side lane, onto the Ryze. And now you kind of have to decide, do you want to go Xayah? Because there could be the MF answer, which is perhaps what both teams are a little bit worried about. Jarvan does get locked in, so it is going to be that run back on the duo. I think no reason to mix that up for TL. It works so well for them. Santorin had an incredible game.
Yep.
With Ahri off the table, though, it's back to Viktor. Same pick as he did last time on blue. And it could be pressure towards mid again, because we saw Ryze plus the Lee Sin in that game, forcing out the early flash, trying to keep Bjergsen somewhat contained. Okay.
Ezreal.
This is a little bit surprising.
Yeah.
So Ezreal to me just says you basically just want to roam, right? And you're also looking to be able to answer heavy dive because Jinx really did struggle. Like, Jinx had a pretty good early stage of the game, got to a good amount of items, but Danny couldn't really do much because he was getting picked on, by the J4. In multiple fights, he's just locked in the Cataclysm, ends up going down. So he does have a more defensive pick now. He can play it a lot more safely. And if you're kind of over-indexing on that hard engage and Ezreal can kite you out, things can look rough at times. But paying some respect to the power of that TL bot lane. Banning out the Kalista is not something we see very often,
no.
But Ezreal, really weak early laning phase, generally speaking, unless you're pairing it with like a Karma or something to have an overwhelming amount of poke, excuse me. So Leona Ezreal could be kind of exploited by an aggressive lane like that. Kalista, which will get banned out. We'll see if they want to do another ban over towards it to target the Xayah, which has become higher priority, or the MF, which it seems like the two picks that people are kind of leaning towards once Jinx and Zeri are gone.
Well, we've got the MF banned away. The ban from TL is the Viego. They've got their own jungler, so they feel fine targeting the jungle pool and knocking Inspired down another tier or two. Let's see if that last one's going to continue that trend or if they want to focus somewhere else. Both sides already have supports. Both sides already have mids. And the Tryndamere banned away from Impact.
Okay, so this is one of the more aggressive picks that Impact will go towards. He's also pretty down to play Gwen, but you don't always want to go towards double AP solo lanes. That can be a little bit dicey at times. So banning out one of those physical damage split push options that he does like to go towards. We'll see what the fourth pick is going to be here. Xin, again,
you mentioned this
played,
last game.
Exactly, it's his most played throughout the year, so this is a big time comfort, but they are going to pivot away, so it's actually going to be Impact blocking his Graves. I don't believe that it is going to be jungle, so I do think this is blinding your top. Of course, there is a chance that you could actually flex this. On 12.6, Graves not bad in the jungle as far as solo queue goes. We just haven't really been seeing it in competitive.
Right.
So there is that tiny chance of it, but I do think he's locking in top, and they're trying to see, all right, what kind of composition is TL building before they lock jungle? So to me, that says, all right, Inspired has multiple picks that he's trying to decide between, right? Maybe he's considering the Nocturne again, and he wants to see if they have a low mobility backline before he actually locks it in. Maybe he's considering the Xin if it's going to be more about skirmishing and team fighting. Obviously, would have a few different options. Otherwise, there's no point in actually blinding your top because you can get put in pretty difficult situations.
Okay, what's it gonna be here? All right, the Gangplank.
Okay.
Locked in for Bwipo and Team Liquid.
This is one of his best picks, I think, historically. He's always been very good on the GP. Brought it out 2 games. This split did win them both. And it's really good cross map for actually setting up. So you can kind of just play it defensively, and you look to just drop the GP ulti as Ashe is engaging with the Jarvan, with the Nautilus, setting that up for them, being that kind of 4.5 man. So they actually are flexing this. This is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be Lucian top, potentially. Yeah, it should be Lucian top. Graves flex to the jungle.
Or
it could
Lucian
be,
mid Ryze top.
But I think Ryze top is pretty exploitable. In that long lane, you can get punished very hard against Jarvan. I think they're going to change it. I think they are going to flex it before it gets locked in. 20 seconds is when you can no longer trade. So we'll find out. Lucian traditionally considered one of those counter picks up into the Gangplank. So I would be pretty surprised by this, but we'll find out. Still haven't traded it. So
20 seconds. That's the mark you got to look for.
Okay.
Lucian mid, Ryze top for Evil Geniuses.
I have no idea when the last time Ryze top was even played. Maybe someone can get us that info, but like it has been so long. No one plays this pick top anymore. It is very vulnerable when you are pushing to get ganked. And J4, one of the strongest early game gankers. Core loves to roam to top. We'll see how Impact can handle this. They've got to get a lot out of Lucian mid for it to be worthwhile.
There's so much engage on the side of Team Liquid's composition with the Nautilus, with the Jarvan, having these tools. EG, yeah, they've got Leona, but that's about it. So the pressure is on for Vulcan and the Evil Geniuses. This is a moment of truth here for Evil Geniuses. They can either take us to Silver Scrapes, or they will fall 3-1 to Team Liquid.
Have you seen what I'm seeing? 10 men up towards top.
Earth start!
Because you are playing a range versus melee matchup top, the ward and the brush is so important. So Impact is going to play try. The rest are wrapping around, but they don't spot each other.
Oh, this is great. This is great. Come on. Come on, find each other.
All right, we'll see if they're going to fully commit to this. Because often, they're going to face check. This is so bad for EG.
EG walking into the brush and Team Liquid's ready to go. Vulcan's already down. First blood over to Han Sama. It's going to be traded back into CoreJJ. The fight continues. EG's winning and Team Liquid is trying to retreat. Bjergsen trying to get away. It's flash, flash, flash. Team Liquid head back into the hills. 2-1 EG win the Earth battle.
Both teams are out for blood in game number 4. 10-man scrap to start it off. And I don't know if you're looking at the same thing as I'm looking at. I'm looking at 4 missing flashes for TL. A kill on Lucian, a kill on Ezreal. That is enormous for them. It is actually TL that get the edge because EG is face checking them. But look at the triple marksman comp here, just getting so much value. Graves, Lucian, Ezreal, all very strong in the early levels. Yes, the Leona does go down very, very quickly, but all of the DPS coming out here, the concave from EG, all those marksmen are free firing. They try to turn on to JoJo, but the rest of the EG members are incredibly healthy. They push them back. A huge start for them here. They are loving it.
All smiles coming out from Vulcan. You're fine to take that trade any day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. And they actually late swapped. So this is something we didn't actually expect. So it's actually the players are playing the champions we expected, but they're lane swapping. Like, excuse me, I should say the lanes are correct.
Holy moly, look at this.
This is mid lane.
Santorin's having to run away from Inspired.
No flash, you gotta get out.
Yeah, the important thing, you mentioned all of the 4 flashes on the side of Team Liquid. Everybody except Bwipo, it's gone. Everybody on EG still has them.
Yeah, so I mean, I expected it to be mid-Ryze. I was talking about how, we're maybe gonna see it dive here. This is risky. I was talking about how we never see top lane Ryze, right? Because Impact was playing it. The Impact's just playing mid lane. This is one of those things you actually see in Champions Queue quite a bit if you've been watching the streams, as people playing more of these different roles, playing Phil at times. So it is JoJo playing Lucian top. It is that Lucian versus GP matchup that I expected. Just not the player I thought was going to be piloting it. But I actually really like this because JoJo is that super lane dominant guy. You have to crush these lanes. They're going to go for the dive on Bwipo. This is critical.
They're already looking for him. JoJo's going to tank the turret aggro here at the start. Piercing light. He dashes out of the turret. They'll get the kill. They'll get out alive.
That is massive for EG. You put the young gun here, the lane dominant mid laner, roll swap him up to the top. JoJo has the best laning phase of any mid laner in the league. You know, has been really dominant. Will lose blue buff on bot side for this, but well worth it. Bwipo, 8 CS, 2 deaths here in 3 minutes. It's a rough start for him. And his only buy is a control ward, where, you know, you come back, JoJo is gonna have the call on top, so gonna be, you know, out to a much stronger start. And we should swap those champion portraits around so we can see the Lucian, you know, compared to GP up on the top side, because that is the lane that we have these players locked in. This isn't just a temporary swap. It seems like that's where they want to play it.
This strategy from Evil Geniuses. We talked about after game 1, wanting to see them swap it up, wanting to make sure that they weren't just going to try to ram their heads into the same wall over and over and over again against Team Liquid. And here in this do or die game, man, EG's playing fast and loose, and I'm loving it.
They absolutely are. You know, and this is a comp that you have to have confidence to play, because if you're going to play triple marksman against a team with this much engage, triple marksman versus Nautilus, Ashe, J4, the follow-up there from Viktor Laser, from GP ulti. Like, if you get caught in a multi-man engage, it is incredibly threatening.
Yep.
And it's also, you know, a very different style of composition where you don't all just want to, like, necessarily pile in. You kind of want to play the fights more slowly and kite back, but they're going to go aggressive on this bottom side.
Hansama forced to back up a little bit. Danny's down to 200 HP.
Core's in trouble.
They're putting the damage into Core. No flash because of level 1.
Yep, the PTA Ezreal there. You get the proc, the ignite goes down from Vulcan, and they're moving to topside. They're stacking the wave. They want to try to make a 3-man play up here. I don't think they have eyes on Santorin, but Santorin will be retreating back. He will get spotted as he actually goes back into his own jungle. We'll see if Inspired can secure this. Has smite, no smite on Santorin, so it should be Graves' camp.
Well, Impact is coming over, but so is CoreJJ. You're going to have a 2v2. Impact in a bad spot. Tries to walk it out. Inspired takes the Gromp and gets the healing from it. Bjergsen joining up here in the top side. Impact still trying to get away. Trying to sidestep a hook that might come out from Core. It might be a 3v3. JoJo gets hooked. CoreJJ goes in, but now he's going to be in some trouble. Vulcan comes up. Flash. Zenith Blade. Locked down into CoreJJ, and the kill goes over to Impact.
Vulcan can kill you bot lane. Vulcan can kill you in the top lane. EG are everywhere in this game number 4 here, trying to push TL to the brink, trying to push them to that 5th game. Everyone had it as a 3-0, but EG had a very different idea about how this series is going to go. And how do they actually get GP out of the situation? Because he has been struggling here, getting pressured very, very heavily. Both Bjergsen and Bwipo are up towards top to try to fix this wave.
Holy moly, man. What an opening from the evil geniuses. This is the second word. This is the geniuses part, what these guys are doing this game. The game plan working beautifully here in the first 6 minutes. But as you already pointed out, it will be about how it looks as the game goes on. Triple Marksman is going to shine early on like this. You pointed out how the range helped him so much in the level 1. That's the reason that went so good.
Yep.
But once the grouping up starts, once TL is able to combine that engage, that's when EG will have to prove they can outmaneuver.
Absolutely, and you definitely can, right? But it's about the engage. Like, the initial moments of the fight are going to decide a lot of these fights, because if you get the perfect engage from TL, you start to burst down those marksmen, it can go so bad. But likewise, if EG are able to effectively kite back and actually deal with that, they have such an overwhelming amount of damage with 4 carries that Jarvan, Nautilus, all these champions, as they go in, if you don't get a kill instantly for TL, your front line's just dead.
Yup, they will be turned into Swiss cheese, my friend, from all of those bullets as Bwipo walks into the brush, but he picks the wrong brush, and that means the recall will not be interrupted there from JoJo. Impact back here in mid lane, still shoving those waves forward. Important to note, flashes are back and ready to go for a lot of Team Liquid here. Santorin does not have his. Vulcan needs to try to get away from this. Danny returning some nice damage there. CoreJJ with a flash away, but now the Bwipo ulti coming down is bad news for Vulcan. He knows there's no way out. He'll try to bring Core with him, but Hans Sama picks up the second kill of the game for TL.
Yeah, good punish. Go towards the bot side, use the GP ulti. A lot of damage here on the Impact as Bjergsen getting a good trade. Won't be able to take him down, but they knew Vulcan had no flash because Vulcan uses flash topside to actually help kill CoreJJ.
Yeah.
So it's a good punish on that. The Ashe ulti was used, the GP ulti was used. Jarvan shows up, they get the kill. Danny kiting this out, will survive, of course, but it does mean he is now flashless, and he was giving up some of that farm. So EG getting pushed back on this bottom side. Realm Warp play, though, they're looking for Hans.
Hans has flash,
And
he has cleanse, he has Santorin right next to him coming down here. Danny's still pretty low, down to a quarter. Danny goes forward. It'll be a 1-for-1. But now Vulcan's ready to join up and see if they can pick up Santorin as well. Impact tries to be careful. He knows he only has 100 HP.
Yeah.
A Dragon Strike will kill him, so he has to walk away.
Exactly, not worth the risk there. Plus, Core is going to be out on the map, and Core would be coming. Does arrive there. JoJo, again, just trying to push this up. His early tabbies for Bwipo. His job is to survive, and honestly, tabbies just have insane value against a triple marksman team here. You got to give credit to Bwipo. He's kept up in the farm, despite he got dove very early on. Cross-map ulti, if this actually connects onto JoJo, you can kill him as GP.
Oh my God, that was so close.
That is, oh, now Bwipo's in trouble!
Okay, all right, it's
He can
all
flash
good.
for it, potentially. No, the Q doesn't actually hit. If he hits that pass-through Q, he flashes on him and you die.
Yep.
That was really, really close on both sides. Oh,
No
my
shot.
God!
No shot!
Both marksmen looking for the snipe on top side, and both top laners not even sweating as the ultis tickle the back of them.
The amount of cross-map in this game as well. You've got Ezreal ultis flying out. You've got Ryze with a semi-cross-map
Realm
with Realm Warp.
Warps.
You've got the Gangplank ult, the Ashe ult. There's so much random crap that could show up out of nowhere. Man, what a game we're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really exciting one so far. Chem Tank already done. Very interesting. So Chem Tank Jarvan, haven't seen that in, I don't know, a long time. It feels like it's almost always bruiser items here for J4.
Yeah, Gore
almost always
Drinker,
Gore Drinker,
etc.
and usually Gore Drinker into tank. So it feels like he just knows his damage isn't relevant because the opponent team is very squishy and he has to find that perfect engage. I talked about how important that is for TL. So it's just indexing into that. He's saying, all right, I need to find the move speed, chase someone down here, get that perfect engage, and then my damage really isn't relevant.
I mean, he even has first strike instead of like Conqueror or something, right? Because he knows in the middle of the fight, after he initially engages, he's not going to be able to stay on top of any of these carries, these mobile marksman targets. So first strike, go in, dunk him, and hope it works.
The other thing that I will mention is that Gore Drinker is super effective against teams that have a lot of melee champions because it's very easy to get in the middle of them and get a multi-man Gore Drinker for a lot of healing, right?
Yeah.
Against a team that is essentially 4 range, you're not reliably going to be able to get a multi-man Gore Drinker, and then tank builds will just make you more tanky as a result.
Well, now CoreJJ and Hansama are going to get poked as they try to clear away the Rift Herald. They'll get rid of it, but the charge completes, and that means this bottom lane tier 1 turret is just about gone. 2,500 gold lead, yeah, for Evil Geniuses here, 11 minutes into the game. Inspired's going to start up the Cloud Drake. Inspired is level 8, Santorin is level 6. Yeah. There is a massive EXP diff in the jungle.
I mean, that is Graves in a nutshell. You know, if Graves is having a good game, you just farm faster than other champions, and you don't take damage while you are farming in the jungle because you have the pushback. You don't really have to kite anything out. So he is very, very strong. He is going Gore Drinker, so he is going the kind of new tech. I've been seeing this more again. If you think that you're going to be in the midst of teams, if you think you're going to be able to be against multi-melee champions, and if you have the J4 and the Nautilus expected to be on your face, it makes you very, very tanky. But here is that chem tank gank.
All right, Impact saves the flash until after the Cataclysm is already down. He does not want to get locked in that after a flash, so that means he can survive. Still takes a good chunk of damage for it, but walking away is the important part. Back up here in top lane, Jojo still maintains the farm lead over Bwipo, constantly trying to push the lead here on this Lucian. Culling's going to put a lot of damage into the Team Liquid top laner. Jojo's going to grab his first plate up here as well.
Yeah, nicely done, harassing him under there, but Bwipo still holding down very, very effectively. You know, not down much in farm, has only given up the one plate. Cross map ulti again. Let's see if this one can connect. If he gets this again, Lucian's squishy enough that you will just die, but this one not nearly as close. I think they had the eyes on it. Inspired actually just going to stop the bases. So he's trying to ruin their tempo. Again, it's so important in League of Legends to actually have these proper resets because Ezreal is on your tower, right? You want to reset. You want to be able to get your gold and get back on the base. He's not going to be able to. Graves ulti's one, then smoke screens the other, then the Leona ulti, all to be able to delay this, deny the entire wave, and he's going to be able to get the solo tower gold there. That's such a huge injection for Danny.
5 full plates in the bottom lane for Evil Geniuses. Bwipo's going to stand and fight against Jojo, but Jojo's ready for him.
Yeah, Bwipo getting too aggressive. You stop hugging your tower, you are going to be punished. Lucian had the Gale Force complete. No Mythic on the side of Bwipo. Jojo finds the solo kill, and you pull up the gold. They are getting rich on these marksmen. 5,200 gold for the Lucian, 5,700 gold for the Ezreal. You're looking at their counterparts on the other side. They are getting miles ahead. You know, closing in on a 1K lead as well in the jungle. EG, 4K up. 13 minutes in, they are playing with the confidence to make this sort of a composition work. You're playing 4 marksmen against TL, but they've got the skills, they've got the swagger to play.
And it's awesome to see. This is what I always want to see coming out from teams when they're trying to challenge the big dogs. Team Liquid, throughout the entire split, has always been one of the favorites to take the whole damn thing. If you're tasked with taking them down, don't just play stock and standard and try to do it. Innovate. Be creative, and play some sort of a wild style of League of Legends that they're not ready for. Evil Genius is doing it.
Oh, Santorin in some trouble. Wrong side of the map here.
Santorin, that's not your jungle, but Team Liquid's looking to change that now. They go over the wall. They are looking to take the fight to EG. Inspired is very low. He's finally going to be taken down. Danny's ready to join up here with the fight. Hansama going to be soaking a lot of damage. Hansama's taken out. CoreJJ's taken out. Impact's getting away. And Santorin will not get him. It's a Quadra kill for Danny!
Danny flashing in as they saw Bjergsen trying to TP out. 6-1 and 2, 5,000 gold in the favor of EG. This team is coming alive as TL. Everyone there to bail out Santorin, but EG are making the collapse so quickly, they didn't realize everyone was in the area. Inspired is there, Vulcan is there, Danny arrives, Hansama even flashing in, everyone hard committing to this on the side of TL to try to fight their way out. There's the only way they're gonna be able to win this fight, but Danny untouched on the bottom of your screen, crushing through Core, moves forward onto Hans, knocks him down. A Q takes out Core. They move on to Santorin. Bjergsen looking for the TP play, but they had eyes on him. Realm Warp gives the vision, flash in, EQ, gets the Quadra kill. Danny now 2 completed items at 15 minutes here. He can carry this game.
That felt like Team Liquid's attempt to break EG's momentum. That felt like if it went the other way, it could have been it.
Is rich.
But man, EG did such a great job answering it. 7,800 gold for the Ezreal. Bwipo gonna be forced back underneath this tier 2 turret. Jojo in total control over the top lane. Bwipo 0 and 3 here on this Gangplank. Danny just left to his own devices here in mid to take down that tier 1. The wave will be cleared out in time. You mentioned how Danny is so far ahead. He's got the 2 completed items, but that 1 is not even fully evolved. Once that's a Muramana, it's going to be that much more of a problem.
Yeah, that plus tier 2 boots. Mid tier 1 is gone. I think mid tier 2 could even potentially gone. The objective bounties are kicking in, and that just shows you how bad of a spot TL are in. They're going to go for the charge on 2. They're moving JoJo down here towards mid. Gonna be able to take this tower as well, just straight up, and Hans could be in trouble.
Vulcan goes in after Hans, maybe a little aggro there. Hans is able to get himself away. Santorin coming around from the side. Vulcan's in a bad spot. Yeah, he's out of there. There ain't nothing he can do about that one. So Vulcan gets a little too hypey off of it, but it's still a good play for EG, taking out the tier 2. And Danny gets out of the way of the arrow.
That's actually such a big deal because Danny is not playing Cleanse, has no QSS. So if you can land that CC on him, you can get the shutdown. 450 gold would be the prize. But he survives. EG, as a result, will grab the dragon off of this. And that was just a really nice Gale Force from Hans. Once the Zenith Blade connects, Leona's going, whether she likes it or not. So he Gale Force is back, pulling Vulcan away from the rest of his team and being able to set up that kill very effectively. It does cost him his Cleanse, cost him his Gale Force, but they get the kill. Hans really strong at this point as well. He has picked up 4 kills, 4 of the 5 for TL, so he is a major hope for them in this game. It's going to be a lot of heavy-duty carrying for him to try to get to a point where Bjergsen and Bwipo can be that big scaling factor, but they're TPing in.
Oh, they're coming
EG are coming. All 5 members are going to be here, and Hans is far from arriving.
Let's see. Impact doesn't want to go in too far ahead of the rest of the crew. There's your culling. CoreJJ dead immediately. Impact just constantly skirting the edges. It's so many dead bodies in Team Liquid colors as EG run them all down.
I mean, you want to say they should go to Bear, but it's 17 minutes into the game. When they're killing them like this, it's just not something you're used to seeing. TL is getting absolutely rinsed in this game. EG looking so damn strong. All of the carries turning online here. Second item's coming through for multiple members now. Essence Reaver is in for the Lucian. Ryze is going to be closing in on a second item as well, with 3 kills to his name. EG just looking so confident, so aggressive. It's all about the fact that they actually look at the minimap, and you see down here, Hans is way over here. They had full info that he was going to be there. All of the EG members are going to be much faster on the collapse. Impact's job is just to buy time. So he flashes back, he lands the Everfrost root. JoJo on the top side is coming in, crushing through core. Santorin's too low to do anything, and then it's just a full-on retreat. Hans has arrived now, but it's too little, too late for him to get anything done. EG with the great collapse, and now hunting in TL's jungle. They have got to take over the map. Look how dark that is from TL perspective. They have 1 quadrant, and really not even that warded up. They've got a couple wards. They've got, deep into enemy territory, which is really kind of still their side of the map, but not a lot of ability to make plays. They've got to just try to turtle it up and hope that EG stagnates, that they aren't able to push the lead forward. Because if you can have, the next 10, 15 minutes of just kind of farming and keeping it at this 5K gold lead, well, then Viktor and GP, they can start to really kick in and maybe, give you a shot off of a good engage.
Full throttle, no stops. That's how EG
All
needs
gas,
to
no brakes.
play the multi-marksman composition. It is an Ocean Soul, 2.5 minutes until that next Drake spawns. EG feeling good about that. You can see Santorin and CoreJJ moving into the enemy jungle. Normally, Jarvan and Nautilus together don't have a lot of kill pressure, but when you're always jumping on a marksman, the targets aren't as difficult to blow up.
Exactly. I mean, they're building no defensive stats, right? It's Lucian with an Essence Reaver plus that Gale Force. It's about the mobility there. The difficulty is just that there is a lot of mobility, right? All 3 of the marksmen have a dash. We have Gale Force on the Lucian as well. It's a Gore Drinker on the Graves. He's probably like the most easy to catch, but that makes him relatively tanky, even going in towards the Black Cleaver. So, he has the armor shred for all of these marksmen. It's going to be really, really strong.
And I love that. I love the fact that he's building this item that gives armor shred to not just himself. It makes it so Danny can now focus on, build a Last Whisper, build the selfish, more effective armor pen item for one person. Your teammates got your back, setting you up for the team armor pen with Cleaver.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see where Danny goes after this. He's going Cerilda's, it looks like, next. But I'm curious to see, will he pick up a QSS? Will he go towards, Frozen Heart or a more defensive option? Because it feels like the only way they could lose is a pick. But TL now, desperation time. They are starting up this Baron. They don't see anyone on the map. Will EG actually check this? If they give this over for free, that would be devastating to their chances in this game. And
that's a nightmare if EG give that away.
They don't know, man. They still don't know.
EG just, they're not expecting it
at this point.
TL with the bamboozle.
EG's resetting.
Nobody's there.
Now they're cluing in maybe?
Okay.
No, they're not, because Bjergsen's showing top.
Oh, but TL backed away from it. They thought EG knew.
Yep. This is so interesting, because so TL were showing Bjergsen top, and that actually was what EG was making a move for. But TL assumed, because they were moving up towards the top side of the map, that they had eyes on them, that they had sussed it out. So TL got nervous, because if TL dies there, you lose 3 and you lose the Baron, and it's like
the entire game is 100% over.
Exactly.
Yes.
So TL actually had the play, and EG had no idea, and that's one of those things that it's like, we know because we can see everything. TL cannot see everything. They have no idea on what info EG really does have, but they pull off. Unfortunately for them, it's not going to amount to too much. You know, your hope is picking up bounties. You know, there's 550 on Danny, there's 550 on JoJo, 300 on Impact, plus the objective money is on towers. So it can be a big swing. Like if you get a pick or two into some objectives, the gold can kind of ricochet back towards TL. But it's going to be Soul Point here very shortly. It is Ocean Soul, which is devastating in those long fights.
And look, you can see the inventories. Both of our non-jungle marksmen going for big armor pen items here as their third item. Gonna synergize so with that Black Cleaver from Inspired, setting them both up for even more damage like we were already talking about. But EG still in control right now. They've got their jungler down there. Inspired's taking care of that third Drake of the game. Arrow flies out, looking for Impact. It finds him. Santorin's going for the flash engage. JoJo provides covering fire, but it's still a good pick, a shutdown for Bjergsen, but it'll be traded back as Danny's unstoppable with a kill onto Bwipo.
Really good summoner timing there. It may have looked like Impact had his flash, but he didn't quite have it. There was a couple seconds remaining from that top lane play where he flashed after actually TPing in on the flank. So they had the track on that timer. Hans nails him with the arrow. They do get a shutdown. Yes, it is a 1-for-1, but they get more gold from that. And TL have got to keep looking for picks. The only way they really win this game is by finding those picks, but this is scary because EG can rush this down very, very quickly. There are eyes on this because they actually have no pink in the pit. They have a pink outside of the pit, but EG, I think, are just happy to say, all right, come fight us.
Yep.
Get out here.
Demand the teleport, because now they're going to have Impact joining back up for the rest of the team. With all these marksmen, you are topping all the damage charged Baron to Evil Geniuses.
Santorin had no flash, so realistically, what's he going to do to get in there? Are you going to flag and drag into the face of 3 of them with Leona there? You'll get stunned and just die. But now, EG enabled through the side lane. The Ryze is really, really strong. Lucian has been playing towards side as well. They're looking for Impact. Has flash now.
Flash is ready, would have to wait. Okay, there we go. Flash is away from the EQ. Looking to return plenty of damage onto Santorin. Impact surviving as long as he can, but Team Liquid get the kill. JoJo, nice dash away from the arrow. Having a flash out now as they continue the chase. Calling coming out, it forces them back.
There's
Team Liquid, you better be careful, boys. CoreJJ's already down. Bjergsen and Hans on the run. Bjergsen knows he's dead. JoJo goes unstoppable. Vulcan's not done yet. Still looking for more. Still looking for Hans. Still looking for a Zenith Blade. Inspired continues charging forward, getting the stacks in the Black Cleaver. Ults himself closer to his opponent, forces the flash out of the Ashe. Now, Bwipo, Hans, Santorin, the only ones alive as EG's Baron push lights up.
Yeah, they're going to keep pushing here with Viktor down. That is the majority of your safe wave clear. Bwipo is going to try to land some of these barrels, but honestly, against triple marksman, it's very difficult to actually pull off those barrel chains. They can snipe down those barrels very, very easily. They get the top tier 2. They're pushing in mid here, trying to set up a push in multiple waves. 10,000 now is the gold lead for EG. Everything in their favor, looking to force a pivotal game 5 here to upset TL, our first place team from the regular season.
These games get wilder and wilder and wilder as we go, Azael. I'm loving it. Evil Geniuses are in such a strong spot. Vulcan will continue being the first one moving forward. Gets the slow on Bjergsen, and as soon as Zenith Blade connects, TL's primary wave clear is eliminated for the next 40 seconds.
They spot TL on the side, they're gonna collapse.
They're not done yet. Vulcan might be low, but he's set him up for even more success. Santorin about to die. JoJo gets away. He won't even be traded back. That's 3 kills. That's probably the game right here.
Oh, look at the barrel. Oh, that was close.
JoJo gets away. Bwipo still looking to see if he can find anything. Inspired goes over the wall, though. He's looking for Bwipo. Flash in, another one straight to the face. There's your damage. Oh, but he barely misses that last little bit there for the ulti. Danny tries to go for a kill into Hans as well. Both Team Liquid players still stay standing, which means the game will not be ending just yet, but the base is broken open.
EG are feeling themselves, getting knifey there, getting aggressive. Inspired going in, good sidestep from Bwipo to stay alive. But EG, they know it. They are getting closer and closer to clinching this game, trying to pick up some luxury items to secure it. You can see it one more time. The slow lands onto Bjergsen, can't actually sidestep, and once the Zenith Blade is there, there's no surviving that one. Just gets burst down immediately. Santorin and Core spotted on the side, so it's the Realm Warp in from Impact. And he just blast goes over the wall to get CoreJJ, while Santorin trying to retreat through the other side. The Ashe arrow did connect from Hans, but just not enough damage. That's the wallet diff right there, as JoJo's able to survive. Dash comes back up, avoids that, and then Inspired just getting aggressive, wanting to go in, flex his dominance onto Bwipo. Bwipo getting the move speed there from the passive auto, sidesteps the ulti after flashing out of the second half of the queue, so does survive, but TL, it's tough, and now they're trying to look for a pick on bot side. They're hoping someone would overpush and they would get a pick there, but EG are grouped up 4-1 split. They're gonna take this mid inhib, pushing in through top, and they wanna just retreat then back towards the Soul. Yep, look where Core and Santorin are. They're not even defending the base, so EG could actually keep pushing. TL were hoping that they could find some sort of a miracle angle for an engage at Soul, but if EG keep going, you kind of called their bluff because there's two members not even here to defend.
Well, EG are not going to push any further. They'll take both of the inhibs. They'll head back to the Soul like you originally said. As they walk through the enemy jungle, they can just take a shortcut. They don't have to risk getting caught in any sort of a bad spot by a Team Liquid engage. It's already been claimed by Inspired. There is no steal to be found. CoreJJ and Santorin trying to fight a nice shutdown back over onto JoJo. Hans Sama's about to die to Danny. Kill back over to Bwipo. EG lost the fight because Danny was dealing with Hans off to the side. Now, what else can Danny find on the back end here? Inspired still at full HP as well. Gonna walk through Bwipo. Gotta be careful about that one. Remember, Inspired flashed previously. Santorin just dies. Danny's ready to go. He's got range on all of them. Bwipo can't do it. Bjergsen, I don't think he's got it either. Evil Geniuses might have lost the fight at the start, but 10,000 gold is just too much.
And the Nexus towers are getting hit by supers right now. Inspired not gonna let Bjergsen get back to the base. Core is about up here, but they're gonna rally in around Bjergsen, try to knock him down.
Oh, Danny's just fearless. He knows there's no concern at all here. Bjergsen dead for 45 again. And Evil Geniuses and Danny are marching towards a win.
Yeah, that delayed spawn timer is actually such a big deal. The fact that Bjergsen lives that long can end up working against them because this spawn timer, everyone has respawned from EG. They can push out here on the map, look to collapse for this last inhibitor tower. See if they can get that before Bjergsen's up. They have, a wave after this one still to try to do it. 20 seconds now on Bjergsen. I don't think TL can realistically defend this. It's gonna be tough.
Here we go. TP's coming in just to make sure they get the maximum amount of value out of these minions. Impact's ready to rock. True Shot Barrage flying off, doing a little bit of damage onto Bwipo. That last inhibitor turret cannot weather the storm of Evil Genius marksman bullets. And now they've got all three inhibs down for the next 3 minutes before those first two of them respawn. EG is in a great spot to win this game. They could play it slower, back out for a Baron if they wanted, but they have plenty of resources. Full health, full mana.
And you have Ocean Soul, man. It's one of those situations where you can just keep going forever, keep whittling them away, poking at them. Is a Lucian recall just to buy. He's got the GA now here ready to go. They're trying to go for the end here, push in these supers, corral TL in their base, land some of that Ezreal poke, and then go in for the finishing blow.
Well, Hans Sama just dies to the culling in the Gale Force. Santorin's gonna be dropped next. Nexus turrets are about to disappear in front of your very eyes. Some damage coming out from TL, but it's not enough. Vulcan will drop, but he's gonna be traded for the entirety of Team Liquid. Bjergsen dies back in the fountain, and holy moly, after 2 years with no fans in the studio, we are going to a Game 5 on day 2 of the playoffs.
Cue up the silver scrapes. EG are here to play. bringing out the triple marksman comp here. I didn't think they were going to flex the Graves, but not only did they flex it, they lane swap their mid laner up the top. They give JoJo the Lucian in this mechanical matchup where he's got to play super aggressive. He was the guy to do it.
Yup.
Bwipo at the tower was able to play those thin margins really, really aggressively to find advantages. And on the other side of the map, I mean, Impact looked right at home in mid lane. There was nothing going wrong for him on the Ryze in mid against Bjergsen. EG just looked so comfortable. It has to be said, though, so much of that advantage was from level 1. You know, they forced 4 flashes. They got 2 kills. They started at a big edge. And if you're TL, you just have to wipe away the game and say, nope, it was level 1. Who cares? Don't worry about it. Reset. We're going to be on red for game 5, and we're going to win that game. But, I mean, EG really did execute. They made the most of their advantages. And Danny, 16-1-8.
Yeah,
That's an incredible scoreline.
Had just an incredible performance there in that game. Honestly, all of EG, I love the fact that they waited until they were on, like, you know, Team Liquid's match point to pull this out and just be like, all right, this is probably one of our wackiest strategies. It, like, level 1 death ball, let's go for it. I love that. It's not a strategy that you're going to be able to say, yeah, this is now our bread and butter, let's do it every game. Not going to work like that. But here in this game 4, when they had to get a dub, it got them that win. They've tied it up and have delivered us a 5-game series. But before we can hear the sweet sound of Silver Scrapes, we're breaking down the game with the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Captain Flowers. I can hear those faint sounds of silver scraping in the distance, and that'll only get louder as we get closer and closer to game number 5. All tied up now, 2-2, the most dominant game of the series, and it comes at the hands of evil geniuses. What the heck?
That level was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Level 1 was nuts.
Yeah.
That was beyond. It was beyond wild. It looked like TL was the team that
I thought
was going to come out.
Win.
Exactly.
It looked really good for TL for a second, but then I just look at EG's champions like Ezreal, Graves, even Ryze is pretty decent level 1, and yeah, it just heavily favors EG.
It's funny when they flew one of the tweets in there talking about Scrim evil geniuses coming, like being welcomed into the LCS. I didn't expect kind of like that level 1 Scrim coming in.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I thought, yeah, as you kind of said, at first I was like, okay, this is looking good for Team Liquid. They kind of instantly blew up the first target, right? But no, not even just the fact that they got the kill back as an answer, but the 4 flashes instantly into like secured kills across the map. Pretty rough there from Team Liquid.
And this team composition with, again, triple marksman, going into this series off camera, we were just chatting about drafts, right? And like drafting in general. And I was like, oh yeah, like drafts lately, we haven't seen a lot of like crazy, you know, lane swaps or champion swaps between multiple lanes just because of the way the game has been playing out. And so this triple marksman comp from EG, it still is kind of risky. That's where,
feels super risky.
Yeah, that's where the Leona and Ryze, I think, fit really well into this. But that level 1 that they were able to snowball off of, this comp just like absolutely like face rolls damage over you.
If you showed me this EG draft, like this EG composition rather, just blind and said like, hey, an LCS team is stepping on a Summoner's Rift with these 5 champions. Do they win or lose? I'd be like, they 100% lose. There's no way they win that game against like a standard LCS team, and yet with that early advantage, they pushed the pace. I think that was the thing about it for me in this game, was how well they accelerated that already existing gold lead from the level 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think Spy really played well to exceed the advantage that they got. He did red to the enemy jungle and just dove Bwipo, and it just makes that matchup completely unplayable. Lucian versus GP super Lucian-sided, and once Lucian gets ahead, Bwipo he just can't breathe.
And how about that? The lane swap, role swap, you know, too as well, right? Taking your most aggressive laner and saying, yes, get up there against the GP.
And that is what I really liked seeing from EG, because we were talking about like, oh, maybe they're not as comfortable with like JoJo on certain champions as others. Like he might be comfortable playing it, but the way the team executes the composition changes. This made the most of impact stability. This Ryze is something he played previously as a top laner. It's been a long time, but like still something he's going to be comfortable with. And then making the most of how impactful JoJo is in lane and how much he loves to bully his laning opponent.
each person had their moment in the spotlight in this one. It was Danny was picking up most of the kills, but Impact doing work as well. I like the call out about the stability that he provides. Again, that's that kind of veteran aspect that you're looking for when you look at a world champion who in, hype moments can always kind of be the anchor for the team. Big TP play here.
Yeah, the caster called this one up. This is the fact that they had vision of Hans being so far away from the fight in general. So the TP play being called out, just slowing them down as they know they have a long way back home. So just really smart. I mean, Evil Geniuses have been a really smart team when it comes to TP. We saw that in a losing play that they made when they're desperate trying to come back into the last one in the previous game. And then we see it in a winning play here for Evil Geniuses. So like when they have an advantage, they will blow that door open. And so this is something Team Liquid, as you can see, when they're that far behind, they are taking risky calls. This one technically worked for them at the very beginning. Danny was out here blowing up Hans on the one side, so he got a triple kill on the Gangplank on the other, but then Danny joined the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think Inspire played this fight super well as well. He baited the CC, and then just used stopwatch to bait in Santorin and, turn the fight. So I think it's just well played by both parties.
Without a doubt. I mean, Danny, in a playoff series, for his best game to be his fourth game, right, going into Game 5, that's where I start to wonder if all of those TL predictions go out the window and people start looking at this EG squad with momentum squarely in their favor. Like, I mean, obviously winnable fifth game, but you almost want to say, like, run that back.
Yeah, I remember the last time Danny had a pop-off game for it, it was the Shisana game.
Yep.
So it didn't go so well last time for Game 5, but, I think EG's looking great right now.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of walking right back into it. Coming into the series, we talked about just overall drafting questions and if they're able to counterpick and punish any lane, like the solo lanes for sure, but specifically top lane. And so going back to the fact that JoJo was willing to play towards top lane and Inspire just followed him there, and with flashes down that they're able to just really punish the GP. Like Bwipo, as you said, Speaker, could not breathe. Suddenly, you're going to Game 5, and all those drafting questions in my mind are out the window. If they're willing to do this, if they practice this, and obviously they were successful at it, it is looking good for the geniuses.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the position of either coach right now, trying to figure out what to draft here in game number 5. That said, red side, win rate, blah, 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 blah. TL goes back to red. Final decision here in this series, and that's where they think they're going to find the answer. So far, that has been the answer for a number of teams. And I struggle with whether or not that statistic, is just a correlation or causation, right? Because we've kind of talked about how a number of times, while we might have opinions or preferences within the draft, that most of the games haven't felt determined by the draft, but rather by the play once we're on the Rift.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's definitely a trend, the rest side being 100% win rate. I feel like right now in this meta, there's not a lot of prio picks. You see teams first picking almost everything. So it's just up to preference, and usually when that happens, rest side is just a lot better. You can get 2 champs, you have counter picks. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the draft evolves.
Yeah, I mean, speaking towards that counter pick, calling back to Game 1, where Team Liquid had red side, they chose it right from the get-go. They had the option to counterpick top lane a little more aggressively. They chose Ornn because it just fit the game plan of playing towards bot lane and punishing. That's power they want to have.
Yep.
Like when they get there and be like, either we stick to the strategy we had in mind or we play towards Bwipo a little bit more aggressively. Just coming off of that last game, he doesn't want to ever be in that position in this series again. So 100%, they're going to be much happier being on red side and giving that counterpick option of Bwipo.
All right, so I fancy myself to be a nice, caring host.
Oh, yeah?
And given
then why do I have this blanket on?
those things?
Yeah,
Why am I
freezing?
Because I provided this blanket to you,
You did?
so that you could be plenty warm enough.
I don't think the producers out there would agree with you.
I don't hear anyone
PAs.
disagreeing, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Here's what I would like to do for all of you. I'd like to give you that opportunity to flip and flop on over to the EG side of things in your predictions. So, Raz, you called the 3-0 for Team Liquid. We are so far from that.
I'm going to flip-flop.
Are you?
To a 3-2 Team Liquid win.
So much.
Hey,
I
there
don't
you
even want
go.
to let you do that. I want to
Perfect.
make you stay wrong. What about you, Speaker? Do you think
I'm
EG's
thinking
got it,
about
or is 100% red side going to hold true?
I'm believing the rest I win.
Okay, so
I
we're
think
sticking with
3-2, yeah.
TL here. Emily, you were the closest on the 3-1 to begin
You
with.
can't all pick the same thing.
I wish I could see draft Because like, here's the thing, in their blue side, their second blue side draft, I thought EG still adjusted really well, even though they ended up losing that game.
Okay.
I still think they shifted their priorities enough that they stuck with, you know, things that they were comfortable with and could execute well on and could still like team fight around. I still want to give it to TL just because I think they make fewer mistakes, but I would flip on draft maybe.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll check back in with you after draft. Maybe we tweet it out if you want.
What's worse than being wrong once on predictions?
Twice?
Being wrong twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Good luck, my friend. All right, that's enough out of us. Only one game left to play in this series between Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses to figure out who will move on to face 100 Thieves in the upper bracket. Let's go ahead and kick off that Silver Scrapes. Enjoy, my friends.
Is actually choking. Yeah, I think their top AD choking so much. I can feel that.
Danny's ready to join up here with a fight. Han Sama going to be soaking a lot of damage. Han Sama's taken out. CoreJJ's taken out. Impact's getting away. And Santorin will not get him. Ryze a quadra kill. Impact doesn't want to go in too far ahead of the rest of the crew. There's your culling. CoreJJ dead immediately. Impact just constantly skirting the edges. It's so many dead bodies in Team Liquid colors as EG run them all down.
Wow.